Hello everybody, this is Bulldozer Investing. It is February 18th, 2021. It's 6:59 p.m. US Eastern Time. Here we are with a lot of action today in the market. We're going to start with VIX, but before we start, I just want to say a couple things. Number one, reason why I'm reviewing a lot of tickers at one video, it's not to get, many viewers as possible. It's only because I open a thread in Twitter and I say, please request your, tickers to be reviewed for the day for technical video analysis, and I try to help as many people, so I get a lot of requests and I try to cover them. So and I limit it to one request. So even that, we get a lot of tickers to review. So that's why I'm reviewing a lot of tickets, and I've had some criticism about, me taking advantage of it. I'm not gonna go sit down and do 2-hour videos just to get a couple hundred people to watch me. That's I'm not gaining any monetary value or any money, any income from YouTube. To just let you guys know, so I'm doing this for passion and help people from Twitter. Okay, that's number one. Number two, please make requests from my Twitter handle, as we had mentioned previously on the other video. I'll go ahead and quickly show you what my Twitter account is, so you can. I'll show you a very good example. So just open at bulldozer_INVST and go to my homepage. You'll see a pinned tweet like this. You may request a stock symbol to be reviewed for today's technical analysis. So the keyword here is request a stock. So make sure that you only pick one because the videos go really long, and then people just keep doing requests. So I just skim through and grab all the requested tickers. And people request from YouTube videos, and it's hard for me to go to different places. So please request from Twitter. As you can see, that reason why I'm doing many tickers is because I get a lot of requests, and people try to help people. Even people from Europe do give me European ticker names, so I'm going to go over and review that Portuguese ticker today. Okay, so that's the reason why we're reviewing many names, and that's why when I tag on Twitter or stock tweets so many names, it's not just because I want to catch attention. I mean, I don't really care. I could just do the FANG stocks and get over with, but just to help people. Okay, so having said that, please do click on the video description to get a list of all the timed bookmarks, so you can jump back and forth between the tickers that you are interested in listening through the video. Okay, so that's my conclusion. Anything we say or chart on this video is educational purposes only. By no means it is any financial advising or buy sell signals. Okay, let's go over with VIX. So VIX is very interesting, and you can see how we draw these trend lines, and I don't move them by any millimeter. Like, I draw it and I let it go and I just review it, right? You notice that we also again tended to close below this trend line. Previously we tested the 20-day moving average. Now we tested the 50-day and bounced back. The 9-day is curling. The MACD is curling. I'm sorry, that was the stochastics is curling. Let's take a look at what happened to my volume bar. Did I delete that by accident? Okay, so the MACD is also curling into a bullish. So this tells me that, okay, VIX have been bearish for some time, and through the last 2 weeks, we did a curling bottom. We're testing all these, moving day average. We're over the 9-day moving average as of this moment. So this tells me some things are going to be shaky. Let's see what actually SPY tells us, okay? So from here, it seems like, although VIX has been having trouble finishing over any moving day averages besides the 90 moving average, all the internals are moving up towards bullish signals. So this tells us that the markets could eventually have a heavier drop. Okay, so that's one signal, but we have to look at the indexes. So having said that, let's take a look at SPY to see the correlation of the bullish correlation we see on VIX. Is it going to match what we will see in SPY? Now, in SPY, many times I said we have a defense line, and that has been protected religiously. I mean, yeah, do we go underneath it? Yeah, for split seconds, and we did almost see the lows of February 10th, and then picked up a little. What's worrisome is that it basically closed right below the 9-day moving average. Guys, these are not coincidental, okay? So Technically, SPY was damaged heavily, and it looked like it was going to go hit, 385 for a second. But what had happened is we seen a pretty tremendous pump afterwards, around like afternoon, after lunch. So it again closed in a bullish tone. You can see we had suffered. If you had, like, other than the SPY index, if you had other names, we went tremendously down. I mean, I've seen the damage on my account, but you can see the green candles, which is the funny story to it. Now, is it flagging? As long as we close above this 389 level, I think we are okay. The moment that we lose the 9-day and the 161.8 fib, as I mentioned to you last time, I'm neither a bull or I'm neither a bear. What I do is technical analysis, and I always look at the technicals. The moment we, if we don't gain above this yellow box, if we don't close above this yellow box tomorrow, what you're going to probably see is a downtrend towards 385 and eventually come down towards the 380 levels, 381, 380. That's where the trend channels are. Worst case 378 in the orange channel. So let's go ahead and draw this orange channel. So worst case scenario, we could come and hit here around 380. Okay. So that being said, like you could see something like this, but we're not. We haven't gapped down. We've always closed the gaps above during the day. So I see a pump trying to save the market. That's one thing, but VIX looking so bullish internally, it's looking like it's about to twist over into a bullish crossover. I'm neutral at this point, but again, I'm more on the bullish side. One thing, I always like to be, positive, and not pessimistic. So the second thing is we still have the 9-day and we still have the 161.8, which is 389. And as long as we have those and we close above them, then I am more neutral bullish. But the moment that we finish below this 161.8, which is 389.14, and I've been saying it all over here, if I open the 30 minutes, you'll see how much it's defended. Now, the daily ticks, you won't probably see the resistance there, or yeah, the support there. So having said that, I think that we might flag and run up as long as we stay above the levels that I've just told you so many times, okay? So next up is Russell. Well, I'm sorry, I meant to say QQQ. So just fixing that, it is QQQ. Let's take a look at that. So what is more interesting about QQQ is that it had hit the 20-day moving average and bounced. It's very clear from the chart, so I'm going to show you really quickly. You see the 20-day moving average hit, bounced, but it closed right on the 100% fib. And where was the resistance? Right at the 9-day moving average. So this is kind of really weird that you're getting, support at 20, and then you got stuffed at 9-day moving average, and then you closed right on the 100% fib, which is 332.53. So it closed around like 332.47. Now that I see that the futures have started negative because I see 331.80. So it's basically it's going to start. It's probably is right underneath this line now. I don't think the chart looks bearish. Again, for some reason, whoever is doing it, rather it's an institution or plunge protection team, you might call them, whatever you want to call them, they tend to close the candles on the green side, which is really odd. Okay, I mean, it's not odd, I know why, but see, if we come down to the bottom of the channel, I think it would be a very, very nice opportunity, or even 61.8, which is 324.98, so let's say 325. It would be a very nice opportunity to get long in the Nasdaqs. Okay, so QQQ is not in a bad shape, but again, I saw like many names on my watch list. It's like they weren't down that big. The big cap wasn't down that big actually. In Amazon, I think they are in Nasdaq rather than Dow. I would say that they're gonna pick up soon. So as long as Apple, Facebook, I know they're in a slowdown right now, and Apple might even we'll review Apple in a second, but it might even hit 120s. But I think I'm expecting QQQ to slowly settle towards 325 and then pick up and move towards the 344 levels. Okay. Now it is Russell. So I mixed up a little bit before, but let's take a look at IWM. Russell again acting like QQQ, acting towards the channel that we drew that's traveling down there. SPY is being protected unnaturally. I mean, look at Russell. Of course, the Russell names were more hit. That's one thing. But I would not be surprised if Russell comes to 218 and then, jump to the next levels, which we've been saying that I've been saying we won't see a real correction until the 240 Russell. I think that we're going to probably settle right on the 20-day moving average and where the 100% fib level is sitting, which is at 218. I think if we hit there, that'll be a very good long opportunity on the Russell names. Next up on our list is Apple, so let's take a look at Apple. As I review Apple every day, and I always say, I'm expecting Apple to go down. It did held our yellow box beautifully, and again, these boxes are not random. I sometimes joke around saying, yeah, they're random and lucky, but look at this. It's a nice hammer. It's been protected right off of this, and these were fib levels. Because the chart is so busy, I basically delete the fib lines and just put the yellow box. Basically bounced right on top of this box, which is around 127. And then if you listen to my videos, last couple of videos, when we were down here, I said any case we break down, first thing we'll visit is the 50-day moving average, and then we might go as low as this yellow box, which is very critical. And I drew this red line yesterday. So it basically dropped even below the red line, bounced off of the yellow box, and then finished with a hammer. Now, again, all the moving day averages are bearish. All the MACD stochastics, everything is bearish. If you zoom out of this chart, one thing you're going to make sure to see is that it could come down as low as the cloud bottom. Okay? And if I zoom out more, and I'm going to look at the weekly in a second, we could see that 100-day moving average or the cloud bottom at 122, 123 level. Okay? Now, if you look, let's take a look at the weekly, because Apple is a stock that you can take a look at the weekly candles, just to see the overall direction of where stock is heading up or heading down in this case. So on the weekly, it's showing us 124, and every time it touched the 20-day moving average on the weekly, it has strong bounces. So I'm expecting, if we see 125, I think it's a good entry point for Apple. I don't like the rounding top that it's forming, which is not looking good. I don't like the fact that it couldn't break above this, post, split news, which is 138 level. It kind of went above and it touched with the Apple car news and everything, and then it collapsed down after earnings. I don't know what the sell-off was after earnings. So you can see this is an ascending wedge, and it broke down that ascending wedge, and it could get nasty, but I'd say that we'd want to try our luck around 125. If in any case scenario, this could travel all the way down to the cloud top right here, around 110s, 112s, but that's like too bearish, which I don't want to believe, because then it would be a market. Okay, let me put it this way. If Apple doesn't hold 125, expect a big correction on overall market. Look at this. Last time, Apple broke down below 20-day moving average on the weekly candle. Now, this is very interesting. Jumped back up with the Powell news and everything, and then bam, it got drilled. Now we're having the same thing. We lost the 9-day on the weekly for the first time. Now, this is only 1 week. Remember, the correction could take about 2-3 weeks until we see the correction. Now, we must not break below 20. What will happen is we'll break below 20 and then quickly recover and then see the real correction on the market, which will not be good, because we are more on a bubble here in today's world than we were on last year, February. Okay, just watch out for that. Again, I've been saying that I'm bullish on Apple 150 and 200. That's what I like to see at summertime, but I have to look at the technicals very carefully. Just because I predicted that while back we were here before the earnings doesn't mean that I changed my ideas looking at the technicals. A man that has solid ideas all his life is an uneducated man. You must change, you must evolve, you must change your ideas, and every time you learn something new. Basically, every time I look at technicals, I learn something new. They're moving, they're dynamic, and worst comes to worst, you change your, ideas on what the outcome should be. But I am not seeing the volume. As you can see, the immensity of this volume right here, it's huge, right? So here, we're not seeing that. So that's why I'm saying that bounce to 125 would be a very good opportunity, unless all of a sudden next week we see a huge, candle, red candle with a huge volume, and then I'm like, oh, we'll get a correction. But for now, Apple is not showing me that sign. Next up is APXT. I believe that this company is a SPAC, and it's already had the news of merging with AVE. I don't know what it was. Let's take a look. So there's a second complaint about me not knowing the tickers, so that's why I'm just doing strictly technical, guys. There's no way I keep telling you guys that in all honesty that I don't know any of these companies. And if I don't know, it would be very hard for me to do technical. Technical would only count for the other 50% of the consideration when you're investing. So I keep saying that. I don't know why people are complaining about it, but Apex Technology Group had 8 Point, which is a supplier or some type of contractor for Microsoft Cloud. So it's a solid. I guess they're a solid company because they're doing business with Microsoft, and this 8 Point is merging with Apex. I don't know when the merger is. So template, there's $4.35 premium on top of the $10. It would be very hard for me to say, okay, go ahead and take the trigger. Technically speaking, I mean, you can't really, even though I got, what was it, CCIV right so many times in all those levels, it's just that sometimes these specs are very difficult to do technical on because it's news driven, right? And I'd say that this would be a good buying point around $14. The second, downtrend would be nearly the 100% moving average, which is about, or 100-day moving average, I'm sorry, which is about $13. Now, let's take a look at the fib levels of where it could possibly drop. So you take this top, this bottom, and this top. So again, the cloud top or the cloud bottom and the 100% fib level is matching almost 1-to-1. However, the 100-day moving average and the 161 is nowhere near. So you just want to watch this cloud bottom. If it loses, then it all goes down. Okay. All the moving day averages look bearish. MACD has not turned around. Stochastics and RSI, all the internal seems not ready yet. What you also want to watch is this level. So this level right here has been a critical defense, and it basically it bottomed out. So for today, it basically bounced off of where it should have been. Okay, as you can see, this bottom, and this bottom coincides, and then most of the time I keep telling you guys the rounding top, and it's bearish, and that's what it is. It's a rounding top. It could all go down to $13. You don't know. I don't know. I wouldn't know. If it bounces, it's probably going to retest 1521 and 1562s. You do not want to lose the cloud bottom. That's all I can say about this thing. Okay. So moving on to our next ticker here is BLNK. I think I reviewed BLNK like a couple times in a row, but what's critical about today and what's special about today is that it did bounce nearby the cloud. Okay. And it went under the 100-day moving average, which kind of scared me. And then all of a sudden, closed above the 100-day, or I'm sorry, did I say 100? I meant to say 50. So it closed above the 50 when it went down. Again, we did say that worst comes to worst, it could see that 50 or the cloud top, and which it did. So I don't see anything worse yet. I told you, right, just before, right, Apex Technologies, APXT, you saw that rounding top. It's almost the same formation, the rounding top and then the bleed down. And the MACD looks exactly identical. The stochastics RSI, the volume, everything looks identical between this chart and this chart. You see this? The rounding top, the bleeding. Well, this one, you know, we lost the 50-day, whereas, you know, blinked, which is good that it closed above the 50-day. But that rounding top and so forth, it looks pretty similar how the MACD looks. So it's not ready yet. MACD internals, everything is telling me it's not ready yet. Now we could see a quick recovery and have like a blessing Friday for how, you know, the market has been. You know, it's been dropping on a low volume. I just believe there's some, I honestly think there's buying going on. You guys are going to think there's a sell-off, but I honestly think it's a buying because we drop with low volume and then pick up after the day, and most of the volume weight is on the buy side. I don't know like what's going on in that, you know, case, but accumulation and at most. But where I see blink going is right here, 52.43. And where it could go, worst case, worst scenario, will be 52 and a half. 52. I'm sorry. Where did I say 52 and a half? I'm sorry. I meant to say 41. What is this point? Like 42 bucks. Okay. So a little lower than today's low is where you can, like the cloud top, where this red line is, and then it's gonna have a tremendous upside. Now, again, this is gonna change. Again, we're gonna have to move it down lower, and every time it goes lower, then our fibs are going to change. So what is the low today? 1468? 14, I'm sorry, not 14, 4268. I'm really tired today. It's like, as I'm recording the video, guys, I always like stop or pause the video and do work because I've been getting called to work. Of course, it's remote work, but and then come and record again, go back to work, and it's like, you know, at one point I lose memory of what I was doing, and I lose, you know, the numbers in my head and so forth. So excuse me for that, but I just wanted to get this video off at the right time for you guys so that you can watch it before your sleep hours and then, you know, get prepared for the market. Anyhow, so I see the cloud top basically 53, 40, 52 and a half, 53 is going to be the target of a bounce back. Okay, but again, keep this in mind that it's a rounding top, and I don't like rounding tops. If we lose this neck right here, the 42, it's scary. It's scary. I don't want to lose 42, and it didn't today, so it's a good thing. But the MACD, stochastics, RSI not ready. Moving day averages are bearish. So all I can say is that if you get an opportunity to sell at 51 or 53, that would be a good place. Let it come back and then play the next bounce. Okay. So again, our next ticker is CLII. I think it was like clean energy, or look, what was it? Climate change. It's like a SPAC, I think. Let's go ahead again, since I got complaints about not being able to know every single ticker I review. I mean, obviously, some people have interests in different fields, and when they tell me these names, obviously, I'm not going to know so many specs out there. So climate change crisis, real impact, ONE Acquisition Corp. So obviously, it's a SPAC. After hours, 1786. We have a little to the upside after hours. Volume, average volume. Let's take a look. That is very important to me. Shares outstanding is only 23 million, so the volume is going to be maybe a quarter of it. Let's take a look. Volume is 1.5. 65-day average volume is nearly 2 million. Okay, so not bad, for a SPAC, not bad. Let's see if any. It's, I guess, like, you know, it's probably waiting for some type of electric car merger, kind of like the next CC. What was it, CCIV? I'm just kind of tired of, like, guys, I don't like to play the same old story again and again. Find a spec, find a clean energy spec that would possibly merge with an EV, and then shoot to the moon. It's like we're thinking too simple in this case. Like, honestly, I Now again, I'm not going to diss the stock, but anybody that looks at this chart and tells me it's bullish, I wouldn't discuss technicals with them. I'm sorry to say, if you're invested in this company, lost the cloud, lost all the moving day averages, I don't see any sign of, besides the RSI kind of tweaking from the oversold territory in the 4 hours chart. Other than that, I honestly don't see anything in the chart other than bearishness. We did say that, I guess I was asked, I said that I don't like to do technical. When I see a chart like this, I don't like to do technicals because you can't really tell what's going on. I mean, who can look at the chart at this point and say, yeah, I know where it's going to go? The only thing I had to do was draw an extension and say possible bounce. But again, you lost the cloud, you lost all the moving day averages, 100 days merging the 50-day. The 9 and the 20 has already been bearish. So I could tell you where it could possibly go down to. That would be another scenario. Take the base here at $10 maybe. And another thing is, just because the stock was once a time is 29, it doesn't mean it could come back to 20. Now, some good news, okay? Some good news. Technically, it's sitting right at the 61.8. If you want to see a bounce, it could bounce from here and go towards the $20 area, which is 1988, okay? Which is the cloud top. Or, I'm sorry, the cloud bottom. So that you in a play you can, but I don't like to take my chances on this. I think there are other great names there, better charts there, that technical plays that I could do than this chart. But yeah, it did defend, the 61.8 retracement did defend pretty well, so that's all good. But what you also want to do is watch this line of 1772. If you lose that, then it's going to go to hell. I mean, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that, but it's going to go down the hill. So that's what it is. Just if you're going to play the bounce, 17 to 20, that would 1772 to 1988, that would be the play. Next name is CLOV. I noticed that some names, trusted names on Twitter, have been, calling this name. And I do think that we're hitting the bottom of this wedge. It could be a possible play. Let's take a look at the retracement of the downfall of where it could possibly go. Down, obviously, where it could possibly go down. I would say the most bearish scenario will be $9.91. It was a nice, turnaround, but after the merge, I just didn't go anywhere. Your possible play from $9 would be nearly $12.91, $13 area. Other than that, the chart is obviously bearish. I don't see any signs of internals, crossing. I don't see the volume picking up. I think this, you gotta give some time. You gotta give some time to this name. The company is legit. It's not a bad company. It's just that it was attacked. It was attacked by the bears with the what was it? The Harrisburg or whatever, Hindenburg, whatever it was, had some bearish article on it, and then it just, there's a downfall. Lost all the moving day averages, lost the cloud, and then all the internals, MACD stochastics, and RSI looks bearish. No sign of crossovers, bullish crossovers, reversals. So worst comes to worst, or the best news is that it could bounce from 1031 and move towards 1154. But I wouldn't suggest to get in this name unless you're really long and you're willing to, go down an average till 991, which is basically a very good buying point actually. You see the lows here before the merge, so that would be a very good buying opportunity. But again, these names, I could see the bat, bullish bat, okay, but again, I don't want to go too deep technical because I don't know. It's a new trial for me. This merging of spec and how companies do after the merge. It's kind of like a test and trial to me, honestly. I could see the bottom of this cloud right here, the red cloud, or even this straight line right here. 1022 could also possibly be the reversal point. So If you got in, you've already, lost so much. I wouldn't sell it down here, just average it and then play the bounce, but it would be a long term. Next stock is CMLF. So let's take a look at it again. Again, I keep telling you guys, I don't know all the names, so I'm going to do it right here, right now, so that you guys, like, I don't have to guess, or at least I see some news of something. CM Life Sciences, okay? Things about CM Life Sciences, some SPAC merger, so it's off of a merger again. I don't know why you guys have, like, selectively go on a merger. Like, the thing is this, right? We've seen CLOV, we've seen, like, other names. I've not seen a successful name. Maybe there's one or two, but that I might not know. Maybe Skills, right? The Skills was also merged off of a SPAC, I think, but I might be wrong. So what happened there is that we have not seen a successful one yet. If this was a spin-off of a merger, which it seems like off of February 10th, let's take a look at this name and see what it is. But I'd stay away from these. Like, yeah, you carry it and you sell the news and then just don't visit it. That's what I would do. But I've not, touched anything yet. I did buy CLOV for my kids, long term. That's one thing. Very, small size, so it's not even considered. Like, I wouldn't even care if it goes down 100%. So here, February 10th, it's what it seems like where the merge was, right here. I'm sorry, it's very hard to do technical on this. It's just a guesswork. Now, I could do it on the hourly, but it might not be correct. Reason why I say that is because I stay away from newly merged SPACs or newly companies that just finished their merge off of a SPAC. Reason why is because I have to observe them. This is something new in the market. You want to look at the upside. I can tell you again, no guarantees, because when I don't have historical data, I don't like to play it off. You can see how correct it was. It just hit 61.8, came back, 50% acted as a resistance here, and then let's see how much it could fall down. A simple retracement should be fine. So you're looking at the width of the second step of the first step of the cloud. So you can possibly, and no guarantees, of course, because you never know what these companies do. Very, very small data for me to work with. At least the MACD on the hourly, we'll take a look at the 4 hours actually. It might be a better indicator. 4 hours not done yet. Okay? Yeah, so you're looking at this area, that would be your buy zone. Your resistance has been very clearly 27.91, 26.56 is your resistance. And then I don't know a thing about CM Life Science. The only thing I know is that it was a newly SPAC merger, but that would be the strongest buying point would be where the 150-day moving average meets with the 61.8, which is sitting at 1989, rounded off to $20. Because these are moving averages and it will move every day. So if the price action starts to stay neutral, I think this moving average will move towards the $20 range. Okay? Now this one is a Portuguese name. I wanted to do this especially to our followers from Europe have been requesting some stocks, so I didn't want them to be left out. So I hope this is the name, which the price that he indicated in euros, it does match. A lot of selling going on, obviously the chart, but the volume also. I hadn't had a chance to basically study what the company does, but he did mention it was an energy company. There is an obvious falling wedge. Actually, let me fix this. It's not even a fully falling wedge. You could draw a small one, but there's a downtrend obviously. So what you want to do is watch these levels. So the bounce from here could go up to 21 and come back, but you want the rounding bottom. So when you have a fall as sharp as this, is something similar to this, right? You get a defense off of the moving day averages, and then a support again off of the moving day averages, and you're like, okay, I think we, the second bounce again. So you don't have to get in here, right? You can get a confirmation from here and just get in and then move along. But here, I don't have any base of support as for moving averages. I haven't done Ichimoku on this one. Let me go ahead and do that. Just a quick okay. Lost the cloud, lost the moving day averages. I don't know if you want to risk it. I think if it goes down, remember I said it could bounce to 21, which apparently seems like it's the cloud bottom, you would want to sell there and just wait and observe. But I don't like to play the downtrends. As I mentioned many times before, I like to play the momentum where it breaks a certain degree of formation or bouncing off the cloud, bouncing off the moving averages when the moving day averages are bullish. So right here, right? Rounding bottom, clear the previous high, you get in here, bam, right? So I don't like to play the falling channels unless I have multiple sets of confirmations. Okay, so that's the review for this Portuguese stock, EDPR. Let's go ahead and look at FUBO. FUBO is killing me, man. Again, the only ticker I have on the Journey account. Let's take a look at the daily first. And it's like moving with very light volume, and then bang, when it hit 42, we got a huge volume, a buy volume, which I'll indicate in the daily chart, maybe the 5-minute, 15-minute chart. But the most frustrating part is that we had regained the 50-day, and then we lost that. We're getting close to it. After hours, it went to like 43 something, right? Now it's 42.90. We lost the 9-day. We couldn't even get above it. We lost the 50-day, and then the 9-day and the 20-day. The 9-day and the 20-day is about to do a bearish merge. And then not only that, but we regained back, but let me see if we did regain back. We're right on top of it, basically. But we've lost, as far as the closing price goes, we lost this red line, the critical line that I was mentioning about. It could very well go and down to 61.8, which is 38.38. And remember what I was saying when we were here. I said where it could possibly go is 42 and 38. And if it happens, I wouldn't be surprised. I have the name. I'll probably buy more if it does go down. But that's what I said, and it's what's happening. And then another thing I'd like to say is that I also said that I think the stock is going to go to 76. So I'm not giving up on that idea. I'm not being egoistic, but it's just that when you have this many institutions, now the company has been owned by institutions by 51%, and there's about like 39% or something shorts. Roku, I don't know what it did, if it had good earnings. Netflix had good earnings, obviously. All these media stocks have had good earnings, so I'm expecting the stock to have good earnings, but good earnings might not mean anything at this level if the market keeps dropping. But we'll see a huge bounce back from this stock. You just have to be patient. It's kind of like Palantir, which we'll probably review today. Yes, it's on my list. That you continuously allocate and you continuously accumulate this stock. You start small and you just keep on accumulating until you hit the jackpot. It's a company that I think can reach 3 or 4 times its value as a market value, not the stock price value. But well, then if the market value doubles, then obviously the stock price would double too. So that's one thing to consider. But I think it's going to go to great places. It just needs its time. Very manipulative. What was the volume today? 11 million at one point. When we hit like the very lows, it was at like 8 million. Very, very, very low volume, basically. And what I like to tell you is that, let me show you this buying. So you guys have to watch. That's why I'm watching FUBO. I can't watch every other stocks like this, but look at this buy volume. It almost felt like, you know, there's a, and I've seen this on Palantir when it hit 2250 before that huge run towards the $45 area. Somebody was waiting for the 42 levels. Either they hit a lot of stop losses here, but look at this buy volume. It's off the chart. It went over 1 million in that instance. Which I have to maybe do minute chart and see what, you know, just microscopically just go in. And I do analyze the charts like this when, you know, when stock hits critical points, but as soon as you see this low, a huge buy happened right there where the heaviest volume of the day was. So I'm guessing somebody was waiting for that price and hit the trigger. And if you zoom out of it, it doesn't look, it just basically looks like this, the falling wedge. Falling wedge will keep on falling till it breaks out. The more it falls, the stronger the breakout is. Now let's take a look at the weekly and fix this damn chart because I hate it when it just does this. Okay, so again, what do you see in the weekly chart? Is it that bad? Like, yeah, the daily action has been killing us. And then the strong, you know, the bold body of this candle, it doesn't look that good. But all you know, tomorrow we might gain like 10% and turn the candle to green. That's what I'm wishing for, obviously. But the weekly candles, look, what is this formation? Cup and handle. Give some patience. Don't get frustrated. Don't overbuy things. Watch for your margins. Don't, you know, especially at this moment, don't buy anything with margin. You'll go broke. So all I know is that we're setting up a huge cup and handle. This is a falling wedge. Just watch out, and then let the chart do its thing. The MACD stochastics are size bearish. Crossing averages are bearish. So you have to rest a lot. You just have to give at least 2-3 weeks, I think, on the turning point, or the tombstone to this stock will be the earnings. So either we're going to rise from our ashes, not ashes, but ashes, or they're going to just put the tombstone on our grave. So we'll see what happens. Next up is Pfeiffer. I don't know how to pronounce it, but I don't know what the company is actually. So, and if I can only, yeah, there you go. I think my internet was running out. I think this is an Israeli-based company that was actually registered from New York, I think, but the headquarters, I don't know where it is. It doesn't look that bad. I think we actually had guessed that it would go in the teal box, so it did. I like the VIC. It means it's protected. I don't know if it had, yeah, it had earnings. So let's take a look at the 5-minute or 15-minute action of what really had happened. I guess it had earnings in the morning, collapsed down, and then picked up. Is that what the scenario is? I don't know. Let's take a look at the hourly. Yeah, something tells me that it was early in the morning, 9 o'clock. There's a huge sell-off. Let's see what the earnings call was. It's call AM. Yep. So it was 7:30 a.m. It dropped and then it picked up. So it looks good. On the hourly, it's probably going to test a cloud top, but look where the protection was, right off that 100% fib channel we drew. Let's take a look at the daily again. Yeah. I don't like the fact that, you know, we're still not at the bottom of the channel, and as I mentioned so many times before, I like to buy things at the bottom of the channel, not at top of the channel. We can actually do something like this and make this channel more conservative than it is. There you go. Got so many lines, so many things. Let's just delete everything. Let's just delete everything here, okay? Basically, we're looking at the cloud top, which is about 244. If it does reach there, that would be a good buying opportunity. I don't know if it's flagging, but I don't think it is. Even though it finished the day above the 9-day moving average, I think the cheaper buy, the bigger deal would be at the cloud top. Now, if some of you guys are not very good at drawing channels, what I do suggest is, let me show you. If you open like Finviz, which I think it does a great job, and I'll get Fiverr. I'm not sure if this was no, that was it Fastly, or was it this company that did 1 billion share offer? I think it was Twilight. Sorry, I'm way off. So you see this channel, and you see this little blue line channel they drew, which is pointing around. So I don't know what this moving day average is, 20, and then the blue channel they drew is 25. So you want to buy at the blue channels right here, right? And you want to sell at the top of the pink channel. So that, I mean, at least if you have no clue how to chart, and you just open Finviz and type your ticker, you can see obvious trend lines for some of the tickers. And I think that they do a pretty good job. So here on their channel, it's right around what, 226, and then on my channel, which coincides with the cloud top, is what, 244. So is it, did I say that 226 or 240? Yeah, this is way too low. I don't think it could go that low. I think my channel is better. I think my channel is better. Yeah, my milkshake is better than yours, type of thing right here. So my channel is better than yours, Finviz. Okay. So worst comes to worst, 233, cloud top 245. Around there would be a good opportunity to buy, because you will see this wave, you know, bottom, top, see this bottom would be a nice opportunity. Okay? Not that I'm saying it's going to get there, but if it does, that'll be a good adding or initiating. Next up is NNDM, so let's take a look. I think I reviewed this the other day. Yeah, the stochastics right here, MACD, RSI, all look bearish. It's on a wedge, down, you know, descending wedge, which could be bullish. By the way, like it doesn't mean. So let's fix this. This doesn't mean that the stock is bearish. It's just the momentum right now is descending. So it's a descending channel, more like. I could call it a descending channel more than a descending wedge at this point. And you want to buy this right at the bottom of the channel, which I mentioned, around $13. Although the moving day averages at the 9 and 20 are on a bearish merge, and also all the internals look bearish, and that's why the Russell had been hit hard with all these Russell names. I'm not sure if NNDM is actually included in Russell, but all the mid caps, small caps were hit hard this past 2 days. Even though the SPY looked like it, you know, had no damage with green candles, a lot of people did take damage here in this case. And I would say your entry point should be around 1290s, 13s, around there. Next up is ONTX. Again, not to disappoint those people that keep complaining about all I do is draw charts. Of course, the video itself says, you know, technical analysis. I'm not doing fundamental analysis. It's like going to these people that have the rockets shooting up to the moon, saying it's going to triple, and putting all these cover photos for clickbait, and then you listen to them, yap, in the first quarter, in the second quarter, in the third quarter, company owns this, company owns that, blah, 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 and then, like, all they do is talk, and then, like, what did I just watch? This guy had a cover photo of, you know, having 3-bagger, 100%, 200%, and the guy didn't even mention a 15% move on the stock. So I'm not doing that. I'm just saying I'm not doing any clickbaits. I'm not doing anything other than taking requests and trying to chart them. My claim, I was working on a server, and I copied and pasted. I'm so tired that I thought I copied the name, ONTX. So there you go, ONTX. Onconova Therapeutics. I heard this name. Maybe I charted it before. Let's take a look. Surges 7 positive mid-stage clinical trial results. Stock drops 12% after pricing stock offering. Let's see where they offered. This was, of course, April 2017, so this is not relevant. Actually, none of the news here are relevant because of the date the news were on. Let's look at the profile of the company. Clinical spy pharmaceutical, which engages identification development oncology. So I should have called it because it's onco. One oncology stock that's on fire, and I've been really watching that stock since I've started stock market, is, let me pull up my window here. Where did I put that name? Started with Z. Did it start with Z? Double check. It's definitely not FLTM, by the way. How did I forget the stock name? It'll come back to me, but it was on fire the other day. Maybe it's on my phone, that's why it's not here. Zio, I think it was Zio. Yeah, it's Zio Oncology. It has been on fire this year, from 250 to almost $6. So, and they have earning calls, so I don't know how that's going to react. But as far as Onconova Therapeutics as an oncology stock, I've never ever heard their name. Looking at it, it just seems like a similar pattern of ZIOP, having that 100% move up, fill the gap and beyond, buying power or buying volume since the last 2 days, if this is a daily chart. It went over the previous high of, whatever this date was. What is it? July 21st. It doesn't give me the year. Maybe last July, past year July. So let's take a look at on my chart and see what we can do with it. Let's see. Let's try to get some. This didn't really fit, did it? No. But sometimes what I do is like I try to get an extension, and if it doesn't work, obviously it tells me that I chose the wrong place. Oddly enough, none of these extensions actually fit the chart. I'm not sure if the chart is technical or not. Maybe this one seems like a fit. Yeah. So your top is going to be $1.96, and I would say your downside risk factor, let's take a look at that, would be around right here. So $1.32 to $1.17 would be your downside. Again, it's like when you have such a little company with like a penny stock status, it's so hard to do technicals on some of these names that I try so hard. Upside, max upside right now in the near short term is $2.50. For some reason, it seems like a very strong buying going on. I don't know what the news is, and it doesn't really tell me, at least on the Market Watch. It gave me news way back in 2017, so I can't really say what the news are, and therefore whatever the news is a strong positive news and strong candles or strong buying green volume bars, humongous, compared to the rest of the candles or the bars, it's humongous. So obviously there's something good with the company. I hope they don't do a stock offering and pausing this run, but where it could go if it breaks the $2 range 250 and 338. But watch out for the 9-day moving average support. So if it does fall, it could fall down to $1.33 to $1.21. I've seen sundial, and a lot of people had actually, talked, when I said sundial could come down to here, they talked, all, crap about it and so forth. But what happened was it did come down to where I said it could potentially come down to. Okay? Next stock is PLTR, and the news afterwards broke out when Kathy sent newsletter and said, or her buy and sell email that she sent out, 5.2 million, if I'm not mistaken, 5.2 million shares bought today. I don't even think she had that many shares previously. What is she doing? Like a double averaging, or I don't know what she did. I think her average was 25 anyway, so I don't even know why aggressively she bought this. But the bottom of the channel, it broke down. It wasn't able to close. It could, and don't get sucked in just because Kathy bought, because it could go down and hit the cloud bottom around 21.66 or meet this low. So either meet this low where the cloud bottom is around 21, or this low where 22.50s had happened before the previous run. Now, what triggered this previous run was that Kathy got in just somewhere around here, dropped, came back, and it was just like, coiling up for the next move, and bam, right? Today's volume had turned green because it managed to close above. So I think as we can see right here, this is where at least on the 15-minute candle, where Kathy might have gotten in and bought it. Or she might have just keep on buying slowly during the day. I don't know. I don't know how you can buy 5 million shares at once, but it did have like over 300 million volume today. So the sell side in the morning was heavy, and then I think Kathy got in, just bought the dip, and now that it's, this is a 5-minute, by the way. Now that after the news, I think people are just going to buy in fearlessly because Kathy is in. And where it could drive the stock, approximately 31, at max 34. And then we can see more downside. So I think the stock is going to be, my long term is 56, I think, 55. So I think the stock is going to be $55 definitely. But before that, there's going to be drama, there's going to be blood, there's going to be sweat, there's going to be pain, okay? So don't expect an easy win by any means. Let me just delete all these lines. So by any means, don't expect an easy win. And you guys know how much I'm a fan of PLTR, and I've been, screaming buy right here. And it hit the 100%. Now what I'm saying is this. Let's just go ahead and draw the extension and see the bottom here. I'm sorry, I'm drawing the top. What am I doing? I'm so tired today. Wow. Now, I don't know. I might have been a couple of cents off of my tops. What is the top for this candle? 39.22. Wow. Wow. I am shocked. What is the bottom of this candle? 30.50. Okay. Absolutely incredible. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Look where the bounce was. So this could be a technical bounce, even though, again, the averages, moving day averages are curling, the MACD is not ready. You could potentially see either a bounce towards 27 or even the 20-day moving average at $28, $29. Maximum side is 30 bucks. Play this channel, okay? Play this channel. I think that if you keep this name long, it could be potentially $100 in 2 years. And I am going to accumulate. As soon as I reach my target in FUBO, And I don't care what Palantir is price-wise. I don't care if it's 21. I don't care if it's 41. I'm going to start collectively buying Palantir. Okay. So not a bad name, but you always have to watch the levels. You always have to be patient because it can drag you from, look at this, from December all the way to the end of January. So you're waiting 2 months, and this could be a 2 months of up and down, up and down, up and down till you lose your patience. Okay. Just watch out for that. But I love the stock. I like the stock. I like the company. I love the technology. And I think the future is Palantir. Just transition, buy in slowly. Okay. Now, next up is Plug. I remember tweeting about Plug that I saw like heavy buy volume at the end of the day. So, and it did basically almost touch the 50 and bounce from there. I could see it go towards the $64 range. So you're sitting right on the cloud, basically where the cloud level is. The earnings are coming up. I don't know how the earning affects the price on this name. Obviously, it lost its uptrend, which I was pretty surprised because the name looks strong. But when you have a name coming from, low $2, it was like $1 or 2.50s last year, last March, from $3, $2.50 to 75, you're gonna see some sell. Now the sell, it lost the pennant which it had, and right now it's sitting at 50-day moving average. Let's go ahead and draw a very simple retracement. 75.49. So somewhere here we'll just fix it, but I mean I might be a couple cents off or two, but that's fine. So you're looking, it didn't even affect it. I'd say that if 50 doesn't work, 50-day moving average, you're looking at the close this gap right here. It looks, I mean, I might sound bearish, but I gotta do technicals. I was being technical here, and it just broke down, and you see this negative merge or the bearish merge on the 9 and 20. As soon as it lost that, bam, 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 bam. Of course, all the clean energy stocks, most of them, and then the SunPower's earnings were bad, and it just crashed today. So all of that kicks in, EV sector and everything. So all the clean energy, EV sector, solar, they're all in the same trend. This is just not, it's just not Plug. And here you go, when you draw this trend and when you lose this trend, this is where you sell it and don't look back. This is where you buy it, the gap. Okay. Now I'm not saying it could go there because the 20-day, 50-day moving average could collectively be a bounce towards this channel, 68, 65, anywhere. But just watch out for that. Watch out for the cloud bottom and then the 50% and 61. So 44.65 to 37.37. Anywhere in this range could be a possible bounce. The first possible bounce is 49.76 where your 50-day moving average. But you see the technical, as soon as you lose this channel, you see how things just crash down. And then again, if you don't know how to draw things and you're just like, okay, I'm going to be lazy, I'm just going to go to FinViz and type Plug, which you can. This one, Plug, basically it drew the upper channel, but it didn't draw the down channel, so then it broke off. Now this is obviously what we mentioned, the 50-day moving average. It could have bounced from there, that's what we're waiting. Now their trend here, they're pointing out 42.20 around there, so I said somewhere within this box is a buying point, so this is what FinViz did. And it's not bad. You can go to FinViz and just do a quick charting. Like you don't even have to chart your own. You can go and connect the lower boundaries, and you can say, okay, you could hit here. That's basically this 50% Fibonacci level, 44.65. I don't know where they're basing their downtrend off of. Let me double check. So their chart is a little different. From $14, they connected 22. And then the 2021 beginning of the year. Let's take a look at how I did it. Yeah, basically the same thing. I don't know what it is that mine shows a little different. Maybe we're looking right here instead of here. So I'd say look for a bounce anywhere in these targets, the 50% fib 61.8 or the 50 moving day average. Okay, so those will be the levels to watch. Let me go ahead and like pull the chart down and then have you guys take a picture or a snapshot or something so you can see the levels. Okay, next up is SAVA. So this name has been hot. Like I remember like this went from like at one day it went like 100% or something. Now don't get sucked into this MACD crossover because it could change easily. What I'm seeing is, and which we reviewed lately, I said that it was hard, and I drew this drew this pennant. Pennant didn't work out. 9-day moving average is resistance. You're going to look at the 20-day moving average as support. I don't see any technicals in this chart. Unless you see it, let me know, but I don't see it. You're probably going to look at the fundamentals of the company and the news that it's waiting for. So I'm sorry that I couldn't be much help with it. We could microscopically look at the 4 hours and the hourly. I don't usually do this, but I'll do it anyways. So here, now this is what I like about the chart on the 4 hours actually. So let's take my wordings back. I like the rounding bottom. As soon as this, so actually this might be a possible buying point right here at the current level on the 4 hours though. So roughly sketching, if you got this rounding bottom, which fits my criteria, and then you got the descending channel, upper channel, and if you break above, the only thing that is not fitting my criteria is that it's under the cloud. Okay, there's a huge resistance and support. This area could be resistance or support. Let me delete this line right here. Okay, and you're looking at a resistance level of, first of all, the 50-day moving average, and then a resistance right here and right here. So this could possibly just move up in this range and get stuck and go down. That's one scenario. Or it could rip and try all-time high. But in order to try the all-time high, there needs to be news on this name. This would not move without news. So since I didn't do any due diligence on the company, only thing I see on the 4 hours is rounding bottom. However, very strong resistance at 73 and 78. If you can break above, then the sky is yours, or the sky is the limit. That would be the right word. And again, I love the MACD on the 4 hours. Everything stochastic's about to turn over to the ups, the bullish side. Only thing it's waiting for is volume and news. So, but having said that, I don't like to go in companies where it had like a tremendous spike. I have to do due diligence, but I like the rounding bottom and a possible, move to the upside. My target would definitely be 90s, like 91. That would be my target. So next up is STIC. Now, the thing with STIC is I think it sounds like an acquisition, and it is. Again, I hate charting acquisitions. I hate charting SPACs because they are not something that you could chart off of. It's completely news driven. It's completely speculation. Oh, it's going to merge with this company. Oh, let's wait for the news. Somebody tweets something and then you get like this speculative possible merge news and then it just spikes up. I don't know if this company got a deal, so let's take a look. So you never know, maybe they've already locked the deal. Is this the one with the pet store, online pet store? Let's take a look. I mean, I don't know why it would. I don't know, because it sounds, Northern Star sounds more technology related to me. So, oh, it is BarkBox. So BarkBox, and now it's going public via SPAC. Okay, so they do have, honestly, I have a pet. I have a dog. He's lying right beside me right now on the standard poodle right beside me. And he seems very comfortable right now. I've never ever shopped from BarkBox, never heard of it. Maybe it's again, my ignorance, but I go to PetSmart half a mile down the road. If you want to order it, there are other websites like Chewy. So I don't know how BarkBox, and I did order stuff from Chewy as well. What I didn't like was that during COVID, it was really delayed. I honestly lost my patience by the time the shipping came. Um, and I understand it was COVID and everything, but it would have taken me honestly, like 10 minutes to go and get, you know, food for my dog or whatever, right? So I go to Costco, which is again a minute away from, like, a mile away from me, to buy my dog food, which he tends to like. I don't know. I buy him good quality. It messes up his stomach. He doesn't like it. And I go to Costco and get whatever the cheapest thing is, and he loves it. I don't know what it is. My dog might be crazy. I don't know. Buy him like a $70 like small bag of food, and he absolutely hates it, and his stomach goes nuts. I have to deal with his diarrhea and stuff like that. And Costco serves the purpose, so I appreciate my dog for costing like what, $23 on a huge like 50-pound bag or whatever. He likes it. He's a big dog too. I guess it, you know, gives him the nutrition he wants. So anyways, going back to the topic, it's a tough call. I mean, yeah, they locked the merger. Now you're out of the news. I don't know. Um, Looking at the chart, it could possibly bounce from the cloud and go to $16. I could draw you a simple retracement. So around, like I said, around $16. So 16.21, 16.58 would be your target. Short-term target. Again, I always give conservative targets, but then when it's SPAC and when it's a company, about to merge, anything can happen. Again, I don't like to do technicals on this because, first of all, I don't have enough data. Second of all, SPACs behave a lot different. You can say there's an inverse head and shoulder and so forth, but it's not really clear. This is 4 hours. If I put like a daily chart, um, again, I don't know. Maybe we could do something like this. Don't get me wrong, it might be good. It's just that I'm not the SPAC guy. Maybe if you know somebody that is good with SPACs and like does a lot of research fundamentally as well, that would be a better point of reference. 1640 and 1683 would be my target. Okay. So TAN, I think this is ETF for solars. Yeah, solar ETF. Wow, what a beautiful spot. I love this. So this is my type of like reversal play. Okay. That's what I like. I mean, I don't see the internals being ready. That's the only scary part. Maybe it's gonna hover over the cloud while uh, the internals get ready. I think the downside to this was, especially if you just check any solar stock, I don't know what they had, earnings or something, and it didn't go that well. But it is risk worth to play the cloud top bounces. I always love it to play the cloud top bounce. You have like a 60-75% chance of getting it. And look where the 61.8 on top of the cloud meets, and that should be your target. The cloud top bounces, you always want to sell the first rip and then wait for confirmation. But this would be 117.76 or 115.58 should be your target. Again, what I mean by Ichimoku Cloud, a lot of people are asking me, just please go to YouTube, search Ichimoku Cloud, and learn from, because there's like hours of videos about it. I'm not going to spend any more time explaining what technicals mean. It's not what my intention was opening the channel. My intention is showing you the technical side of the chart, but not teaching not teaching the meanings and the functionalities of the studies. Okay. You obviously have a trading zone between. You see the zigzag 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Why not? But you don't want to lose. I mean, you do want to break above this trading range, but you don't want to lose below. Okay, so you just watch for that. So that's, and if it does, things go down the hill, it could go down to 94. You hear that from me first, so just be careful. You don't want to lose this line. I'd say I'll sell it, the mid-range of this trading area or channel, you want to call it, range, you want to call it, and then sell it. Maybe if you keep half of it, just sell the other half at the top. That would be my play. Because it's an ETF, you won't get as much damage as you were if you were invested in like one of those like cheap penny stock solar companies or even SunPower. I know it has a lot of shorts, but it took a damage today about like 16-17%, whereas the ETF itself is 6.4% down. So next up is UONE. I think I researched this before, and if I'm not mistaken, it's a Asian makeup company. Like they sell like beauty products. I mean, I don't know like Estee Lauren. I don't know. I'm just gonna make up like whatever I see, like the brands from my wife's makeup place. I can't even see the small writings, but like from my childhood, um I've heard of a couple names. I'm not good with makeup. I don't even like makeup. I like the natural beauty, and these days you go on Instagram or any social media, it's like you can't really tell if it's a makeup with a face or it's a face with a makeup. I mean, I'm not trying to criticize, go ahead and paint yourself with a wall paint, goddamn. Like I don't give a heck what you do to your face, but it's like, as a guy, I just don't find it attractive. Maybe a little bit of eyeliner. I don't know. I don't know the makeup names either, but like it just to me, and having, an Asian company with a makeup, I don't know if they're like selling products to America. I don't know if they're selling products to like Avon. Yeah, that was the company. Yeah, Avon. It's like the mail order thing. And there's like other companies, of course. And I remember one day I had a huge box in front of my door. I'm like, okay, this is not my name. And open the box, it's like bunch of, products. And I called the person that shipped and I said, there's no to address, there's from. And it just, I don't want to like, I don't even know what's in the box. Like, you never know. It's like a tracking device or a bomb or something, right? It's just randomly showing up. So they're like, no, no, you can keep it. I'm like, are you sure? And I open the box, hoping that it's not a bomb or something. And it's just like bunch of makeup. Something K. I don't know, for the ladies out there that's listening to me, Ashley K, or I don't know what it was. Mary K. I think it was Mary K. And like bunch of beauty products. So I just gave it to my wife. I don't know if she threw them away or not. So I don't know if this Urban One supplies these companies. You have to investigate. I don't see anything in the chart other than it broke above the red cloud. Let's take a look at the weekly to see if it's like one of those companies that, yeah, I don't know what the spike was about, but the volume is basically non-existent after that. Um, Actually, I do see some volume. Yeah, it's in the 2 millions. I don't know. Interesting. Honestly, again, the technicals are not going to work on this one. I could see a spike all the way up to $16, but again, it would be a very speculative technical point. Could it go down any further? I don't really see it going down either. It's like you're buying a lottery ticket and just hoping to go to the moon, um, especially with these ADRs. Let me check if I was right. Let me check if I was right, because I did do some due diligence before. Yeah, I checked this name. Let's see what it does. Why is it not giving me a summary? Maybe I was totally off. Maybe I was looking at some other thing. Why is it giving Nokia? Maybe I was totally off. Holy crap, I just spent like the last 5 minutes doing the wrong. Um, let's take a look at this, guys. I'm sorry if I gave you the wrong information. Oh, I am so sorry. I remember this company now. It's based off of Silver Spring, Maryland. It's like 30 minutes away from me. It's they do radio shows and stuff like that. I'm really sorry. I feel stupid now. I forgot what that makeup thing was, and it was like an Asian company. I just wasted your 5 minutes. I'm so embarrassed. I'm not gonna delete it because I'm not afraid of getting embarrassed. So I don't know what their, talk shows, radios, and I don't know what their potential, you know, you look at Spotify, you look at other things. Pandora's stock, there was a Pandora stock once upon a time. I don't know if it still exists or not, but um, yeah, it's a small market. I don't know if it's just DC, Maryland, like DMV area, DC, Virginia, Maryland area that they're broadcasting to. I don't know what their earnings, like, I don't know what their potential market targets are. So it's totally going to be a blinded guess, but I would say if it tries $8.87, the previous tops, it should be good. And I'm really sorry that I just wasted so much time by thinking that I was reviewing. I think the stock that I was basically talking about was YSG, and I got it confused. I'm sorry for that. Okay. So the technicals aren't going to be really much on this company. Expect I see this gap right here. Other than that, and which coincides with the previous top, so it filled it before. So if it tries there, I'd sell it and wait for a bounce back and then buy it again. But other than that, again, it's more of a fundamental game. And when you talk about a company like this, um, and you just have to research on every aspect that I mentioned. Are they only broadcasting in DMV area? What are their audience? What are their targets? I know their audience and target is more of a hip hop, like, you know, um, hip hop music, like, I like hip hop too, so I don't want to like give certain culture, demographics, so anyone can listen to hip hop, but their genre is hip hop and they're targeting, I would say, like younger generation, anywhere from, 14-year-olds to 35-year-olds. I'm not sure, maybe there's other, hip hop fans out there that are older than that, but generally that's the age target and the genre is hip hop. Just research, see if you can find out if they can grow, maybe partner with Spotify, then that would be a good cause of getting in the company itself. Okay. Next up is Workhorse. We definitely charted this. Wow, it lost 9 day, it lost 20. Things don't look good right now, especially before the earnings. MACD, stochastics, RSIs, all bearish. You look at this right here, and you could say that it's potentially the same chart. So you're topping off. You broke the 9 day, you broke, the 20. Except that I would say right here. You broke off the 9 day, you broke off the 20, you're coming close to 100. So potentially we're at an area, maybe towards the $30 area, what I'm guessing would be the bounce back. But I did draw this and we were dead on with the upside. So now let's look at the downside. Let's see if Workhorse, yeah, so it's pretty close. I said the 30s, but it seems like 29 can be a potential bounce. Right now, what it basically did is it got close to this line of the cloud right here, and it bounced from there. But possibly, so if this placement of the retracement is correct, which it was for the upside, and we're going to look for this bounce right here before the 50-day moving average. But I don't know what the earnings can bring up to the table. I don't know if the USPS news could come up and, take the stock to the moon or just drag it down to like $15. I don't know. But as far as technicals are concerned, the moving day averages are bearish and the internals are bearish, and it couldn't break above the 161, and which we did say that it'll go there, and it did. Now the downside target, I'm saying 29 would be a good area to start nibbling, but the issue is the earnings. So you got to watch out for that. I'd probably wait for the earnings. because I don't know what the earnings potential is, and I don't know if the company does have good earnings until and unless they get a good deal with USPS. So that's my stand on it. I'd probably wait till the earnings and then get it. Next up is YSG. So I completely mixed up YSG with UONE, and I totally messed up their part of the review. So now let's look at the YSG, and I think from what I researched, this was the company that does the makeup. Yeah, Asian-based company, and it's personal care and appliances, consumer goods. They do have a net income, but when it's Asian companies, they can cook the books. And a great example we've seen previously was Lock and Coffee. And the company was pretty big too. So yeah, it talks about like, eyeliners or whatever, like face, lip products. What I would do fundamentally is research and see if they supply American companies. I mentioned previously, 10 minutes ago, and all these, names and everything. So look at like Estee Lauder, Mary Kay, Avon, and all these other L'Oreal. Like I don't know the names, right? So you guys know the names. You want to see if they supply any to companies like that. If they don't and they just make their own product, or which countries they ship to. So those are all the names, all the factors that you need to research. As far as technical goes, again, I just did a simple FinViz just to show you how simple things can be. The previous tops now is acting as a support. If it drops down, you're looking at $18.98, so give or take $19. We're going to draw this in a second, but why am I showing this to you is because if you have no clue how to start the technical drawing, at least get a copy of FinViz. And I think there are other sites. What's that site's name? How did I forget it? Chartmill. So go to Chartmill. There's great screeners there too. I think FinViz, they have like a very intuitive, very simple interface. But if you go like YSG, type your stock, it'll also, and if you go to stock chart, it'll also, I thought it drew, but it didn't. Okay. It didn't draw it. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, because when you did the screen analysis, it just basically does the drawing for you. Maybe you'd have to like sign in or something. I don't know. There you go. There you go. Okay, there you go. So it has the weekly and the daily. Stop. I don't know why it's doing it. Is this like the paid promotion, or I have to like register? But it does give you some type of analysis. But here I think I have to log in. I don't have a login. I thought I did. Maybe I did with email and I didn't record it on my password manager. This is just to make the long story short. There's Chartmill, there's FinViz. You can just get an idea off of it, and then you can go to your chart and try to draw off of it. You can, when the stock is fairly new, it doesn't show me anything before November or October. You can do 4 hours to hour candles. That's fine. So let's do like 4 hours and see what it looks like. Broke off the bottom of the cloud, so that's not always good. I think your support would come. First support is 2033, second support is 1932, and third support is $18. Although it looked like a nice cup and handle and it broke off and hit new highs, it came back pretty bad. Another way you can tell the fib levels is if you can draw from here, this bottom to this top. You see how perfectly it's sitting at 61.8? That could be a possible bounce. Take that into consideration when you're evaluating. However, The MACD does not seem ready yet. Stochastics and RSI doesn't seem like it's turning around. So you're gonna have to watch this level carefully. If you break down, then this line right here at the cloud is 2039, and this line right here at 1964. And then finally, I'd say a pretty good support would be around 1886 to $19 area. Okay, that's my technical analysis. Just to summarize things, the market is like a seesaw. It's making people go buy puts and calls and puts and calls, and that's how they're making money off of these premiums. If you do have a stock, don't over leverage. Don't buy too much with, don't leverage yourself with margin or 3 times leverage ETFs or anything like that. Make sure you have enough cash position and slowly add in. Look at Kathy go all in on PLTR with 5.2 million shares. I don't know if she increased her stake to 5.2 or she bought an additional 5.2 million. If she did additional 5.2 million, that's huge news for Palantir. So you gotta act like Kathy, right? If you don't have the cash on the side, then you're gonna, dirty your diapers. So be careful on that. And I'm really sorry about today's UONE. Totally got it mixed up with YSG and just wasted your time on that. But that just comes to show you that when I don't know something, admittedly, I go and tell you that I don't know. And even if I mess up, I don't go ahead and edit my video to look perfect. So I am what I am, and I try to help you guys, and I try to take daily requests, and I try to cover them. Right now it's 9 o'clock. When I started this, it was like 5:30. So I had to pause the video, work, come back, and my head was spinning around. So I did what I try to do, and I might have not been my best today, so I apologize for that. And then I also promised to record a video maybe on the weekend to tell you guys how my technicals work, how I set up my toss, how I did my studies, and so forth. That's going to be along the way. Till then, I hope we have a green market tomorrow and FUBO goes up and Palantir goes up and we all be happy. Stay safe and we'll see you tomorrow.